Welcome to Pound for Pound, the MMA podcast. And now, coming to the mic, your host, Jalen Walker.
Test. Hello, everyone. It's your host, Jalen Walker. Welcome to Pound for Pound, the MMA podcast. All right. Good week of fighting. Sorry we didn't make the show yesterday. Some stuff going on. Had to take care of some things. But we're here today for a results show. First time we're doing this. But first, let's go ahead and go over UFC Contender Series Week 1. We got a light heavyweight fight, lightweight, flyweight, and another lightweight. Jordan Leavitt took the win against Luke Flores with that great arm triangle. 4 minutes and 15 seconds of round 1. Very impressive. You had Luis Rodriguez versus Jerome Rivera. Jerome took that win with the unanimous decision. Then you had the TKO by Uros Medic, which was pretty nasty in round 1. He put that dude out. He had no chance. And then Justin Jacoby took the win with unanimous decision. I'm 100% sure. I think Uros made it. He got the contract, and then Jerome did, I believe. No, Jordan Leavitt. Yeah, because he did the splits after. Yeah, he got the contract. Impressive fights on that end. We got 9 more weeks of it every Tuesday on ESPN Plus. So if you're not tuned in, Contender Series, it's one of my favorite events of the summer, just because it's 10 weeks. You got these up-and-coming fighters. They're hungry to get these contracts. They're going to go above and beyond in these fights. And we only had 4 fights this past Tuesday because one fight got canceled. But it's going to be 5 fights for 9 more weeks every Tuesday, ESPN Plus. Make sure you're tuning in. All right. Before we get into UFC Fight Night Vegas 6, I just want to talk about Floyd Maywether with UFC and Dana White with the co-promotions and what's happened with him and Floyd, or him and Connor. Floyd said he would fight Connor if he wasn't retired. So that's where we're at with this right now. We know before COVID, Dana and Floyd, they came to a deal to do co-promote fights and co-promotional fights in the future. I think with like Zuffa Boxing and just the UFC in general and just Mayweather Promotions. But Dana said some things have to play out, and then he's going to start talking to Al Heyman this summer, and then they're going to have something for Floyd, hopefully in the fall or winter, but we're not sure at this point. But that's what he told ESPN back in January, and this was before COVID. So he said the money is in Floyd, and he knows that. And Dana's a smart businessman. He's not going to stray away from that. He made a lot of money with the first fight, and he wants to make some more money. I mean, I don't blame him. But we all know that Floyd's uncle and trainer Roger Mayweather died in March. And at the same time, COVID happened. And with all that happened, like Floyd's comeback and coming out of retirement kind of just got put on hold. So we'll see what's going to go on there. Dana said Floyd and I still have dialogue. We go back and forth. And he said we're still interested on both sides. He said we're doing things right. And he said at the moment he's not even thinking about Connor because Connor's retired. He said he's not going to put any energy into that anymore until Connor comes out and said he's interested and he's out of retirement, because it's his 3rd time retiring in 4 years. Like, what is he doing? We know he's going to keep fighting. So just say you're taking a hiatus or something at this point. Connor also, he mentioned that if, I can't think it was last year. I just want to make sure I'm right. I think he said he wanted to fight Manny Pacquiao, which would just not be in his best interest. I mean, Pacquiao's getting old, but Pac-Man, I think he could put him out just like Floyd. I think that'd be easy for Pac-Man, but let's see what happens with Connor. I would love to see Connor versus Floyd too. There's nothing wrong with that, but to be honest, I want to see Connor keep competing. Like, he's at this new division or this new weight class. He says he wants to go to the top. He also says he wants to rematch against Khabib. Like, we don't know what's going on, but Khabib's manager or trainer came out and also said that Khabib is really, really only interested in fighting Connor. I mean, he has to fight Gaethje because Gaethje's the interim champion, so that's a done deal. That's going to happen. But I think Khabib's going to fight Gaethje. That's going to be 29-0 if Khabib wins. And I think Khabib would do one last fight against Connor or George St. Pierre. And people are gonna say I'm crazy, but I honestly think GSP would come and fight Khabib. GSP didn't want to come out of retirement and fight Nick Diaz because he beat Nick Diaz. There's nothing to prove there. Like, it's all good in that situation. He doesn't need to do anything to prevail his legendary status. But I think if he comes out and beat Khabib, that's a tough argument. Like, you can't you can't say Khabib is the best of all time or could be the best. That'll settle it. And I think that'd be a great last fight. That'd be 30 fights if Khabib wins that fight. His dad always said before he died that he said he just wants him to have 30-0 and he should retire and leave it there. And I think that would be good. So Gaethje and then either Conor rematch or give it to GSP, George St. Pierre. What that'd be. GSP versus Khabib would be insane, man. Oh man. But all right, on the UFC fight night, Derrick loses versus Oleinik. What a night last night. I was just as surprised. I knew the last fight was gonna be good, but I was just as surprised as all the other fights. But Beneil Dariush versus Scott Holtzman. Beneil won that fight. He was once known as a grappler, but he was getting it done in a big way with the strike game, man. He got that spinning back fist for the win. I mean, it wasn't fully back fist. It was more of like the forearm, but man, that was impact. He knocked out Close in March. So he stopped Holtzman and Close, and that's a pretty good back-to-back resume. I'm not going to lie. He hurt Holtzman with the knee early in the first round, but Holtzman kind of recovered. But it was over after he hit him with that. Oh my goodness, man! Like, it was so quick and so snappy, and it just got him right on the chin and just dropped him just instantly. But it was a fantastic knockout. It puts him at 19-4-1. But yeah, I'm excited to see what he's gonna do. It wasn't promising up until like he did that, but if he can keep delivering that, and I think he also said he didn't make weight, so he couldn't get the performance bonus for $50,000 at the end of the night. So he offered to give it to Holtzman, but I don't think they did. So Daniel wasn't about that life. But yeah, before we keep going, performance bonus of the night, $50,000 went to Andrew Sanchez, Darren Stewart, Gavin Tucker, and Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland, man, didn't get the fight last week because his opponent passed out on the way out to the ring. So, but I think that was Jaron Giles. He's also a police officer. But yeah, he passed out before the fight, and they called it off right like 5 minutes before it happened. But yeah, Kevin Holland got to come out and fight. Very vocal in this fight as always, and very, very impressive. He got that 50 bands, so congrats to him. Very interested in the Yana the Fox like outcome. I was very man, it was just kind of a weird fight. I expected more from her because I know she wants to fight Shevchenko, but I don't know. We'll see. It was a good fight. She had her on the cage in the clinch and worked her. She had the opportunity to take her to the mat, but there was just no point. It wasn't really a threat, so she just kept her up. But she had 8 armbar victories, I think, prior to this. So congrats to her. Kudos to her. Just I don't know. She beat Julia, by the way. Stulia Aranco. I think that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, Stulia Aranco. But on the Darren Stewart versus Maki Pitolo, the middleweight, man. The middleweight it's getting solid, man. Darren Stewart, he said his plan was to get this dub on Saturday against Makai and stay in Las Vegas and book another fight as soon as possible. I mean, these fighters that are hungry, why not stay out there? I mean, they're in Vegas. They're not going around the country. Show Dana you're there to fight. Like, you know what I mean? Be serious about it. And he is. He wants to keep fighting. But nasty guillotine in the first round. Maki, yeah, he had a tap. It was too strong. Stewart had never won by submission, by the way, before Saturday. But I don't know. Maybe that's why Makai he just like kind of like dissed it and brushed it off and just was like, he could take me down. He has never submitted anybody, but yeah, if Stewart adds that submission game to his skill set, Lord have mercy. That would be really, really beneficial to him. Now Chris Weidman versus Omar Akhmadov. Impressive. It was impressive. It was impressive. It was a first round submission. I don't know. I think he'll get back in a title hunt at some point, but it's gonna be a minute. It's gonna be a while. That, like I said, that middleweight is stacked. That middleweight is stacked, man. But yeah, he was gonna get the job done by any means necessary. But he even knows this win wasn't that clean. It was sloppy. He called it sloppy. He even said he wants to show the world what he's capable of. So he hope he gets another chance. Hopefully he stays down there and fight. I don't know why he wouldn't. But yeah, he also said, I think it was on Twitter, he said, it was just such a weird fight. It was so sloppy. Every time I got to his legs, I was just a little bit off. A little bit too low on the leg or a little bit too high. The weight was off. I turned it into a sloppy fight, but it came down to that third round, and I was able to dig deep and come up with the W. But yeah, man, that was... I mean, I got to give it to him. At least he called himself out. He knew he didn't fight the best. He knew he could have done a lot more, but it was a good win, but like I said, nothing to praise. Like he ain't gonna put this on his highlight tape. It was a good win against a nice opponent, but like I said, no, not good enough. And now to the fight, the big fight. Derrick Lewis versus Aleksei Oleinik. First, I'm not gonna lie, I had Oleinik early on, before the fight started, and then after, like, before the fight started, I switched to Lewis. I just was thinking, I'm like, that if he gets his hands on him, man, it's over. Like, people don't understand how strong Derrick Lewis hits. Like, people are like, Ngannou got a strong punch, but Derrick Lewis hits like a truck. There's a reason they call him the Beast. Like, he is the Beast. But man, it was painful to watch that replay. But second round knockout in 4 minutes and 39 seconds. It was a nasty right hand, man. Ooh, he just touched him, and Oleinik came down and just right on the chin, buckled him, went down immediately. But what's funny is, Derrick Lewis, his interviews. I'm not gonna say what he said in his interview. I think we all know what he said, but that man's hilarious. But Derrick Lewis even admitted that he was close to tapping out on that bulldog choke that the boa constrictor had on him. It was tight. I thought Lewis was about to be, but I don't know what happened. So Oleinik, man, he can usually hold those. He can usually lock those in like glue, just like a Ben Askren used to do, like pre-knee from Masvidal. Like, he was just bind him in there, and I thought he had him. Oh man, I was scared for Lewis. And then Lewis, this weight loss for Lewis has really been effective for him. He's been losing a lot of weight. He's becoming more active in cardio. His ground game's getting better, and we all know this man's giant, and he can head kick people. Like, people don't understand how big this man is, and he's out here head kicking people and knocking people out. On top of that, like, this man is dangerous in the heavyweight division. Lewis said he took inspiration because he said Oleinik was tired, but what Oleinik was doing, so Oleinik basically after the first round laid on the octagon floor and put his legs on the cage, and people are like, oh, he's tired, but no, what he was doing was getting his blood flow to come from his legs to his heart, so he can like slow his heart rate faster, which is smart. But Derrick Lewis thought he was tired, but in the good credit of Derrick Lewis came out. He was convinced that Oleinik just couldn't fight any longer, so he opened the second stanza with a flying knee, a flurry of strikes, and he just hit him with that right hook, man. That I wish we could pull it up, but I don't have it set up, and I don't want to mess anything up. But if you haven't seen it, Derrick Lewis versus Oleinik right hand, go watch it. It happened last night. It's on Twitter, Instagram. Put that man out. The victor gave Lewis the most knockouts in UFC history. I forgot about that. Yeah, that was huge. I was just so like in all of the knockout. I forgot. Yeah, he has the most knockouts in UFC history. Out of all of the fights, he has the most knockouts, and he's tied with 4 others in all of UFC for the most knockouts. So this man gets one more KO. He has the most knockouts in all of UFC history. This man has power. You need to watch out. Stipe and DC, I know that fight's coming up. Whoever wins that fight, I know DC's retiring after this fight. Stipe might too. But I want to see Derrick Lewis versus Ngannou for that vacant belt if that belt comes vacant. Because that, I think he, 1 second. Let me look up. I think Derrick Lewis beat him. 1 second. Yeah. Derrick Lewis beat Ngannou in a decision. That was back in 2018 on July 7th for the co-main of UFC 226. But I want to see that again. I want to see it with Ngannou where he's at now. Ngannou just has to swing. Derrick Lewis just has to swing. That's all they have to do. And that's what we're going to get. First round knockout guaranteed. I'm calling it now if that fight happens. First round knockout. But here, let me look at the standings to see if that's even like possibility. So at heavyweight, we got Stipe Miocic, the champ, DC, number 1 contender. Francis Ngannou at 2. Curtis Blades at 3. Derrick Lewis at 4. Curtis Blades, he's in the mix. We don't know what's going to happen there. We really don't. I honestly wouldn't mind if they skipped Curtis Blades and brought Derrick Lewis up. I think they might bring Derrick Lewis to 3rd, actually. Yeah, they're definitely going to bring Derrick Lewis to 3rd after that fight last night. Just give it this week. Let the matchmakers in the rank people, let them fix it. Watch. It's going to be Stipe, DC, Francis Ngannou, and Derrick Lewis, and Curtis Blades going to be 3rd. Yep. Man. Whew. That's crazy. But yeah, he's Derrick Lewis also said he came close to getting submitted from that scarf choke that he had on Oleinik. But nah, man, Oleinik wasn't. No. He wasn't gonna get submitted. If anybody submitted anybody, it would have been the boa constrictor, but he just couldn't handle it. Like I said, Derrick Lewis is serious about this fight game, man. He is losing his weight. He said he's not going to fight till December. He said he's taking time off to get his body fully in shape to what he needs to be at to become the heavyweight champion. And I think with DC and Stipe probably stepping away, I don't see Stipe staying on. I'm not sure, but I think Derrick Lewis is going to have that chance. Because we all forget, Derrick Lewis had a chance before and he just lost. He lost like 2 in a row, and that put him back. But look at this man. He's back at 4th in the world in heavyweight. He's not going to go away. You got to give him his props. Dana White, you can't be putting him on fight night. Like, he's a main event type of fighter. Give him a UFC 253 or something. Like, I know there's more people that can get more money, but Derrick Lewis is out here, and he's knocking people out constantly. Give it to him, man. But, man, like I said, he wants to lose 15 to 20 more pounds, and then he wants to return December. I'm excited for him. I want to see what he's going to fully be at a weight that he's comfortable with. I know right now he's a little bit overweight. He was way overweight before, but his stopping power just made up for that. But I'm interested to see what he's going to do. I think Derrick Lewis is a threat to be dealt with. He's funny. People love him. He has that same type of energy that Jorge Masvidal has. You know what I mean? He gets people going. Like, you just want to watch him. You want to see him succeed. You want to see him get a crazy knockout, and it's what people love to see. And I hope the best for him. Great fight by them. Great fights by everybody. They were wonderful. But before we get off here, I just want to talk a little bit about UFC 252, man. Been waiting for this one for a year, even before they announced it, man. Stipe Miocic versus DC Daniel Cormier. Oh my God. Have you guys seen this card? Let me just show you the main event card real quick. Should I start from the bottom or the top? It doesn't matter, I guess. The bottom. Hey, it's loading. Magnog Akalavev. I can't remember if I'm pronouncing his name right, but dynamic fighter, 13-1. Ion Kutalaba, 15-1. Marab, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name. I'll have it by next week, I promise. Versus John Dotson. Insane fight. John Dotson, incredible fighter. Going to bring the power. Whew. And this is where it starts to get insane. Y'all ready for this? Junior Dos Santos versus Rosenstruck. Rosenstruck's the one that split Overeem's lip wide open, like from here to here. That's that guy, okay? Going against Junior Dos Santos. That is going to be an incredible fight. We're going to get a knockout. So we're probably going to have a knockout within the first 2 fights. So if we're on track, we're going to have at least 2 knockouts by Junior Dos Santos. And then the co-main event. Dana, bro, y'all are crazy, man. Co-main event, Sean O'Malley versus Marlon Vera. Yes. 12-0, Sugar Show, Sean O'Malley. Co-main event. His biggest fight of his career so far. Will he get another knockout in the first round? Probably. That's what I'm saying. This night, each fight in his main event is probably going to be a knockout. Like, oh my gosh, Sean O'Malley, co-main with Marlon Vera. In the main event, Stipe Miocic against Daniel Cormier. Part 3, the trilogy ends. I'm telling you, man, Stipe lost that first fight. DC took the belt from him, and Stipe came back last year in August, took that belt back from him, man, put him out. DC got laid up against the cage and just pieced on. But I'll tell you what I think next week, who I think is going to win and stuff, because I still want to like get more into it. It's going to be a really exciting week. Honestly, I don't know. I want to do 2 shows for this card. I might do one Friday and Saturday. I'm not sure. We'll see. I know Saturday is going to be huge. I know everyone's excited. Oh man, this card is stacked. I'm really excited to see Sean O'Malley fight. I'm not gonna lie. Very, very excited. Jim Miller's fighting in the prelims? What? Oh man. And then Herbert Burns too? Oh my, and TJ. Oh yeah. This prelim stacked too. This is incredible. Yeah, this is gonna be some great fights. Hats off to Dana, UFC, and the matchmakers. UFC 252, Miocic versus Cormier, Saturday, August 15th. Main events start at 10 p.m. Eastern. Let me get the time for you guys for Contender Series. Dana White's Contender Series every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So tune into those, man. They're just entertaining to watch. Something on a random Tuesday night when not a lot's on. You know what I mean? You're just doing your work or getting some stuff done. Just throw it on in the background. Like, you won't regret it. You'll see some good talent. People wait weeks and years to see new talent come up and they get their big fights. But why not watch talent now that can be discovered, that has that raw power? Like, we saw some heavy hitters on the first 4 fights of the Contender Series week 1. Like, tune in week 2, man. 8 p.m. ESPN Plus, 8 p.m. Eastern time, that is. And then, like I said, Stipe Miocic versus Cormier 3. The trilogy comes to an end. Saturday, August 15th at 10 p.m. It's at the UFC Apex, 25-foot ring, not the 30-foot ring like average. So it's gonna be some knockouts, man. I'm excited to see Sean O'Malley Jr. In this heavyweight battle for the ages. This is history. Like I said, they're saying whoever wins this fight, greatest heavyweight fighter of all time. And I believe it. This is it. This is where it's all come down to. Miocic, Cormier 3. But yeah, I appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll be live Saturday. It won't be Sunday again. That was my fault. Everything's good. Just had to take care of some stuff. But like I said, Contender Series Tuesday, 8 p.m. Stipe Miocic versus Cormier. The trilogy ends Saturday, August 15th at 10 p.m. Eastern time. But I appreciate everyone. I'm your host, Jalen Walker. This is Pound for Pound, MMA podcast. All right, peace, guys.